Tonight, a last-minute scramble to get to the U.S. before new travel restrictions go into effect at midnight.
It's just really challenging. So much so that I don't actually know if we're going to be able to do it.
All visitors must now show a negative COVID test the day before boarding, some canceling their flights altogether.
So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what exactly the rules are for travelers that are trying to travel from Nigeria to the USA. I'm actually sorry that I've not created this video, I haven't created this video because a huge proportion of you guys that watch my channel are actually from the US and you travel frequently from Nigeria to the US. So apologies that I'm only just creating this video right now. If it's your first time here, my name is Sassy Funke and I'm a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator, really creating to help Nigerians globally travel better and smarter. If that's you and you feel you can benefit from my content, please make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below and give this video a huge thumbs up. I'm trying to get to 70,000 subscribers. Can we make it happen for the end of December? Who knows? Miracles happen, eh? Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So let me read from the official state government side so you guys know exactly what the official information is. It states here, updated pre-departure testing requirements for air travelers to the US. Starting on December 6th, air travelers age 2 and older, regardless of nationality or vaccination status, so regardless of where you're coming from and how you've been vaccinated, are required to show documentation of a negative viral test result taken within 1 day of the flight's departure to the US before boarding, right? It states you must show your negative results to the airline before you board your flight. That includes all travelers, US citizens, lawful permanent residents, and foreign nationals. So let's talk a little bit about this, right? They're saying that from December 6th, if your child is 2 or old, anyone that is 2 or older on the date of travel has to do a negative viral test. It doesn't necessarily say PCR test, but I would advise you to do a PCR test, and I'll tell you why in a second. So you can do a viral test, and it has to be within 1 day of your flight. This is very important nuance to actually notice that they're not saying it has to be 24 hours before boarding. It has to be a day within, it states here, within 1 day of your flight's departure. So for example, if my flight is tomorrow, right, at 11 p.m., I can do my tests anytime today. It doesn't have to be exact within 24 hours of that departure time. It can be any time in the day to day, right? And it's taken from where you're departing from. Even if you're going to be transiting other countries on your way, the 1 day before is actually from your first port of departure, if that makes sense, right? I'll leave in the description box below what specific viral test that you can do, but I do say that you should definitely do a PCR test, right? I'm still going to explain why I think the PCR test is the best test for you to do. It states here, if you recently recovered from COVID-19, you may instead travel with documentation of recovery from COVID-19. That is your positive COVID-19 viral test result on a sample taken no more than 90 days before the flight's departure from a foreign country, and a letter from a licensed healthcare provider or a public health official stating that you were cleared to travel. Essentially here, they're stating that you don't necessarily need that viral test. If you've recovered from COVID-19 before, right, within 90 days of your flight, like within 90 days, you can take that positive result and also documentation from a licensed healthcare professional to say that you're okay and fit to fly, right? I'm not sure if anybody here has actually submitted such documentation before. Let me know in the comment section, because I wouldn't know, if at Lagos Airport they'll be accepting that. When you get there, it's a different story. But let me know in the comment section below. I think it's going to be very valuable for other people to actually know if it's an option for them, a realistic option. You know what I mean? So let me now talk about why I said that it's important for you to have I think a PCR test is the best test for you to do. The reason being, and I'm going to pull this up, right? When Nigeria shared her provisional travel protocols that was released on the 2nd of December to be in effect from the 5th of December, they said they had this subsection in there that they never had before, and it's titled Guidelines for Outbound Passengers. It states here that all passengers traveling out of Nigeria are required to provide evidence of a full COVID-19 vaccination or a negative COVID-19 PCR test done no longer than 48 hours before departure. This is the reason why I say you should definitely do a PCR test, because so that you actually fulfill this criteria. Because regardless of whatever requirements the US is asking you for, if you don't fulfill Nigeria's own documentation requirements, they will not allow you to fly. Like, that's just fact, right? So I think that's super, super important to know. It's key to note that if you're going to the US on a non-immigrant visa or non-immigrant visa, essentially like a visitor's visa, for example, you need to know that you must be fully vaccinated to travel to the US by plane if you are a non-US citizen, non-US immigrant, that is not a US citizen, US national, lawful permanent resident, or traveling to the US on an immigrant visa. So basically, if you're not some sort of a resident, if you've not been fully vaccinated, you cannot travel to the US. Simple as. If you are unsure of whether or not you'd be allowed to travel to the US, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the comments, in the description box below, whereby you can fill your own personal details and answer like maybe 4 or 5 questions, and the system will let you know whether you'll be likely allowed to enter the US or not. I think that's super useful. I will now actually go back to the original new requirement for air travelers. That was information that was provided on the US government website. It states that at the bottom of the documentation, it states, check with your airlines, cruise lines, and travel operators regarding any updated information about your travel plans and restrictions, including potential COVID vaccine or testing requirements for countries you're transiting through, right? So this is super, super important, that aside from Nigeria's own requirement, aside from the US requirements, also make sure to see that if there are other requirements from your transiting countries, because not all flights are United or Delta directly flying from Lagos to the US. Some of you guys are going to fly British Airways through London. Some of you guys are going to fly Lufthansa through Germany, right? Some of you are going to fly Air France through Paris, right? So it's important to check specifically what the requirements are for those. I also had a super tool. There's this Skyscanner tool that you can basically put where you're traveling from, your nationality, and where you're going to, and it spits out what the current requirements are. It's such a useful tool. Definitely check it out if you're in doubt about and you have some questions. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you found the video informative and useful. I'm going to make sure all the links that I talked about are in the description box below so that you can reference them. And if you're watching this months down the line, things may have changed. So it's important for you to check them, refresh them to see what are the rules currently, right? Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a huge thumbs up. I appreciate your love, your support, every single thing. Thank you so much, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.